Level 1. The applicant. You have wanted this since you were a kid. Maybe you watched a news clip of the president stepping off Air Force One, and you noticed them before you noticed the president. The ones in the dark suits moving in a specific way that was not walking exactly. More like controlled scanning, like they were reading the entire tarmac the way other people read a page. Eyes that never stopped, hands that never swung freely, a quality of attention so total that it looked to a 7-year-old watching television like a superpower. Maybe it was the motorcade, the way the vehicles moved as a single organism. The agents visible on the running boards exposed to everything holding on with one hand and watching the crowd with the other, which seemed then and seems now like one of the most specific and demanding things a human body can be asked to do. Maybe it was simpler. Maybe you read something. Maybe someone told you about it. Maybe you just knew the way certain people know certain things, that this was the specific version of service that your specific combination of capability and temperament was built for. What you did not know, what you could not have known at 7 years old watching that news clip, is what it actually costs to become the person standing on that tarmac, what the selection takes from you, what the training asks of you, what it means to spend a career being responsible for something that cannot fail even once. The United States Secret Service was founded in 1865 to combat counterfeiting. It added executive protection to its mission in 1901 after the assassination of President McKinley, the third sitting American president to be assassinated. A fact that clarified rather quickly what the mission needed to include. 120 years later, the mission is the same. The person standing between the most powerful office in the world and everyone else has to be exactly right every single time. Not most times, every time. This is what it costs to become that person. Level 1, Special Agent Trainee. You did not walk into the Secret Service. You earned your way to the application. 4-year degree, clean record so clean it can survive a background investigation that will interview your college roommates, your ex-partners, your neighbors from 3 addresses ago, your high school teachers, people you have not spoken to in a decade, will be asked about your character, your judgment, your honesty, your patterns of behavior when you believed no one was watching. The background investigation takes months. This is intentional. The Secret Service is not selecting employees. It is selecting people into a culture that has zero tolerance for the kind of character deficiency that a rushed process might miss. You pass it. You pass the polygraph examination. You pass the physical fitness test, the psychological evaluation, the medical exam, the drug screening. You are offered an appointment to the James J. Rowley Training Center in Beltsville, Maryland, which is the facility where Secret Service agents have been made since 1965, and which the agency does not advertise and the public does not visit. Training is 18 weeks. 18 weeks that cover criminal law, constitutional law, interview and interrogation, surveillance, counter-surveillance, physical security, protective intelligence, emergency medicine, driving. The Emergency Vehicle Operations course at Rowley is one of the most demanding in federal law enforcement, operating vehicles at speeds and in conditions specifically designed to build the skill to extract a protectee from a threat environment at a moment's notice. And firearms. The firearms qualification standards for the Secret Service are among the strictest in federal law enforcement. You will qualify with multiple weapons platforms. You will qualify under stress, under time pressure, under conditions designed to simulate the specific chaos of a protective incident where everything is happening simultaneously and your body is doing what bodies do under threat, and the training has to run deeper than the physiology. You graduate. Your first assignment is not the White House. It is not the Presidential Protective Division. It is a field office. Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Dallas. The field office is where Secret Service agents spend the majority of their careers, and the field office is where new agents learn what the job actually is before they are trusted with the part of the job that everyone pictures when they picture the job. The field office investigates financial crimes, counterfeiting, credit card fraud, cybercrime, identity theft, bank fraud. These are the cases that occupy the majority of a field agent's time and that have nothing to do with the dark suit and the earpiece and the tarmac, and that teach everything that the tarmac eventually requires. The patience, the precision, the capacity to build a case with the kind of rigor that survives a federal prosecution. You work your cases, you file your reports, you establish yourself as someone whose judgment can be trusted when it cannot be verified. You're starting at the bottom of the longest climb in federal law enforcement. You know this. You chose it anyway. Level 2, Field Agent/Special Agent. 2 years in, 3 years in. The field office is no longer unfamiliar. It is yours in the specific way that environments become yours when you have spent enough hours in them to stop navigating them and start inhabiting them. You are running your own cases now. A counterfeit producing high-quality $20 bills traced to a printing facility in a Chicago suburb. You work it for 9 months. You develop informants. You conduct surveillance, you coordinate with local law enforcement. You build a case with the patience of someone who understands that a case built quickly is a case that collapses in court and a clear's throat. Case that collapses in court is a case that did not happen. The arrest come on a Tuesday morning, 4 subjects. The evidence is airtight. The prosecution is successful. The case is closed. You file the report and begin the next case. This is the work. It is less dramatic than the public version of the Secret Service and more demanding than the public version in ways that are harder to explain. The sustained focus required to work a financial crime investigation for 9 months without losing the thread. The specific kind of intelligence required to understand how fraud operations work well enough to dismantle them. The patience to build something correctly when building it incorrectly would be significantly faster. Field agents rotate to protective assignments. This is the other dimension of the field agent's career. Periodic temporary duty assignments protecting senior administration officials, foreign dignitaries, major presidential candidates during campaign season. You travel with a protectee for 2 weeks. You stand posts, you advance locations, you work the rope lines. You learn the protective mission from the ground level of someone who has not yet made it the primary focus of their career, but who is building the foundation that the primary focus will eventually require. Your first rope line is in Phoenix, vice presidential candidate at a campaign rally. You are posted at the right edge of the crowd barrier, 2,000 people pressing forward. The noise is extraordinary. The candidate is 20 feet away. Your job is to watch the crowd, not the candidate, the crowd, and to identify the person in 2,000 who is doing something that the other 1,999 are not doing. You watch. For 4 hours you stand, and you watch, and you identify, and you clear, and you watch again, and nothing happens, and the rally ends, and the protectee is loaded into the motorcade, and the motorcade moves, and the site is cleared, and you write your report. Nothing happening is the success condition. You understand this now in a way that you did not understand it before you stood at the rope line for 4 hours. The best day at this job looks exactly like nothing happened. Level 3 Senior Special Agent / Protective Detail. 5 years in and you have been noticed. Not by the public. The public has not noticed you at all, which is the correct outcome. By the people inside the agency whose job is to identify agents who have the specific combination of protective instinct and investigative rigor and physical capability and judgment under pressure that the permanent protective assignments require. You are assigned to a protective detail, not the Presidential Protective Division. That comes later if it comes at all, and it comes to a very small number of the agents who would like it. You are assigned to protect a senior member of the cabinet, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense. The principle is consequential. The threat environment is real. The schedule is whatever the principal schedule is, which means the schedule is not yours. You advance locations now. This is the specific skill set that separates the protective agent from the field agent, and that no training manual fully teaches. The ability to walk into a space that someone important is about to occupy and see it the way a threat sees it. To identify every entry point, every concealment location, every position of advantage, every sightline, every gap in the perimeter before the perimeter exists. To build the security architecture that makes the visit survivable for the principal and invisible to everyone else. You advance a hotel in Brussels 4 days before the secretary arrives. You work with local law enforcement, Belgian federal security, the hotel security staff, the advance team. You map every stairwell, every service entrance, every mechanical room, every floor the secretary will occupy. You establish the magnetometer positions, the post assignments, the emergency vehicle routes, the hospital route. You establish the abort protocol for 12 different contingencies. The secretary arrives, the visit proceeds, the secretary departs. The security was invisible, you are doing the job correctly. The physical demands at this level are significant and sustained. The Secret Service protective assignments run on rotating shifts that are structured to prevent fatigue, but fatigue is relative and the structure is a mitigation, not an elimination. You are standing post for hours in conditions that range from the comfortable to the extreme.